Hi, very good morning to everyone. Welcome to Inta Bina Group Berhad's fourth quarter and full year results briefing. I'm Jason Chiu from Image Communications, the IR and PR consultant for Inta Bina, and I shall be your moderator for today's briefing. So today's results briefing is part of Bursa Malaysia's Investor Relations and Public Relations project for selected listed companies. The IR and PR project is aimed to improve the visibility and accessibility of participating PLCs via more active IR engagement with the investment community. So for the first phase of the project, Image Communications has been appointed as the third-party IR company to train and educate participating PLCs to conduct effective IR engagements. So the selected companies for this program are PLCs that are less accessible to analysts and investors, but highly in demand based on the feedback received from the investment community. So we would like to thank Inta Bina for participating in this project. The recording of the investor briefing and presentation slides will be available for all on Bursa Malaysia's Institutional Insights portal after the event. So on the call today, we have Mr. Paul Lim, Managing Director of Inta Bina. And we also have Mr. Teo Hock Chun, Deputy Managing Director of Inta Bina. So I think without further ado, I'll pass the floor to Mr. Paul, who will bring us through the presentation. Q&A session will be after the presentation. So Mr. Paul, the floor is yours.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jason, for the kind introduction. Thank you, everyone, for taking your time off to come to this briefing. I thought I will try my best to give an overview of Inta Bina, what is Inta Bina is achieving, what Inta Bina is going to do in the future. Inta Bina was incorporated in 1987. We have this over 30 years of construction operation history. We have a pool of professionals who have been with us for some of them even 30 years with me. So in May 2017, we are listed in ACE market, and within 1.5 years, we migrate to the main board in October 2018. So through his subsidiary Inta Bina Berhad, Inta Bina Group Berhad, we always involved in construction work, such as building residential or not residential construction, especially right now, also embedded in a local infrastructure work. We are proud of our achievement in the sense that we are a great servant contractor. We don't call ourselves contractor, we call ourselves builder in such a way that we build home, not houses. No. We always take pride in giving the quality in terms of concourse and accuracy assessments. I think we are very proud that, for instance, recently we achieved 90% accuracy assessment score. And then our average accuracy score is of 78%, and then we have maintained this quality. And then in terms of our quality, we have this ISO, 3 ISO certification, 1 ISO 9001 for quality and assurance control, ISO 45001 for safety and health, and ISO 14001 for environment. We follow these 3 certifications closely to ensure quality finishes for all our projects, timely delivery, and also work site safety and health. In addition to that, we try to preserve environment in whatever construction activity we are taking part, such as we practice 3R, reduce the waste, reuse and recycle the construction material and products. So over the years, we have completed more than 130 building projects worth 3.5 billion, mainly in Klang Valley and in Johor. As of today, our unbilled order books of 1.3 billion, that will give us about 2.5 to 3 years of project stability. And then last year, we have a 3.6 million of tender book. This 3.6 million is still not yet awarded. We are waiting to be awarded. Our success rate about varies from 10 to 20%. Is that? So this year we hope we have replenished our order book by 800 million. That is our hope, isn't it? So in terms of dividend yield over the years in 2018 to 2021, our dividend yield instead per share is 2.7% in 2018, 3.7% 2019, and then 2.8% 2020. This year, 3.8% in 2021 in terms of share. You look at this dividend yield in terms of per share, our yield is better, in a way better than the bank deposit, isn't it? The reason is that we always believe in our vision to be a preferred choice builder and to ensure sustainable return to the stakeholders. So we always have stakeholders in our mind, especially the investors. So in terms of a dividend over the profit margin, we pay out 18.9% in the year 2018 and 23.8% in 2019, 56.2% in 2020, and 45% in last year 2021 in terms of percentage of dividend payout against the profit after tax. You know that last 2 years we pay out a lot. Why we pay out a lot now? Even though our earning is not so much, because last 2 years I believe many investors, every of us are suffering due to COVID-19. That's why we take out quite a substantial sum of money to pay back the investors. Okay, next screen, please. So as of today, we have last year we have 18 projects, big and small. Out of this 18 projects, 2 projects is going to finish. There is in Eco Arden, Nara, going to finish, actually finish already. The other one is in Sunway Renan, finishing. So this year, moving forward, we have 18, I mean -2, there's about 16 projects left. So this out of this 16, this year we are going to finish 7 projects. So we have 16 minus 7, we have 9 projects for this year. So we hope we can replenish more projects for this year. So our overall, you can look at the overall contract value. Can you move the screen? Contract value, move up. It's 1.69 billion, and our bill order book as of 31st December is 1.12 billion. Next screen, please. So this year we secured 1 project in Sunway Artisa in Star Park for 160 million, and I believe more is to come, more projects to come, because right now as we approach endemic period, so all the activity, all the construction activity, all the industrial activity is very robust right now. So I believe all sector will grow this year, barring any lockdown. I don't believe any lockdown. Okay, next screen, please. So for our recent development, last year, we incorporate EP Senyum Berhad to undertake facility management project. Why we do that is that we want to have incurring income. This EP is involved in the install, supply, install, and maintenance of lift and escalator. This EP, we have 55% owned by Inta Group Berhad. So far, we have secure a license from JKKP in January this year. So we are going to tender for more projects right now. And then we also have a sales agency agreement with China company, Dongnan, to supply the lift and also the escalators. So last year, we also completed 1-for-4 bonus issue of free warrant to reward our investor. And also last year, we awarded a 5-star succeeder by CIDB for Kiara Kasset condominium project. And we also declare a first interim single tier dividend 0.5 cents per share last year. And then last year we secured 8 project wins, totally contract value of 393.4 million. And then we acquired a piece of land in Mutiara Subang. This piece of land we are going to develop into affordable condominium this year. We expect to launch this project somewhere near July and August. Right now, we are completed our design, everything. Right now, we are applying for MK approval. So for a year moving forward in 2022, we signed a shareholders agreement with Legenda Property Berhad, a 50-50 joint venture company to undertake all the construction of Legenda property in Pahang, Johor, Kedah, which will generate 1.3 billion of total construction contract over next 5 to 7 years. This is the additional revenue for Inta Group Berhad. So this year, as of yesterday, we also declare to reward the investor. We declare another 0.5% per ordinary share. So total payout is 1 cent per share, with a payout ratio of 45%. I think that is very good, especially in this time of slow economic growth. And also this year, we secured 160.6 million contract from Sunway Group. Like I say, our aim is to replenish at least 800 million project this year. So in terms of revenue, over the years since we start this company in ACE market in 2017, you can see our revenue grow from year to year. Now to 2017, 290 million, then 2018, 383 million, then 2019, 411 million. Unfortunately, 2020, due to pandemic crisis, the revenue dropped due to lockdown, movement control, movement. And then when the government relaxed, then you recognize our revenue right now go up to from 280 to 336. So for the year 2022, I believe we are supposed to suppose a 2019 figure, isn't it? So in terms of profit after tax, 2017 we have 15.4 million, 2018 21.2, 2019 22.4, 2022 8.1, and then 2021 increased to 11.7. So in terms of our profit after tax margin over revenue, we have 5.5%, 5.5, 5.5, then 2.9 and 3.5%. So the reason that how come we have this revenue of 336 million, whereas our profit after tax is 3.5, because last year we are affected by unprecedented material price increase. Overall, we in terms of percentage of profit over revenue, we lost about 2%. But in terms of revenue and profit after tax, that is compared year to year, we increased by 19.9% and 44.4% respectively. This high revenue is due to the higher recognition progress, because all my project can operate now without any restrictions and that, because we control we follow SOP very well. There's no outbreak of any this COVID-19 in all my project site this year. Last year, yes, 2020, yes, 2021, not a single case. Next, please. So in terms of quarterly, compare quarterly results, and that you can look into the fourth quarter in 2020, our revenue is 84.9, as compared with quarter one last year, 96.9, then quarter two, 73.2, quarter three, 55.5. Quarter three, there's a dip because of there's a lockdown for 1 month, isn't it? And then after the lockdown, then our revenue pushed for the last quarter to 110.4 million. So our revenue compared quarter to fourth quarter to last year, 2020, as compared to 2021, our revenue and profit increase of 30.1% and 64.3% respectively. Like I said, this high revenue is due to construction activity. We can operate in full force, and also they are generate more all the operation is in full force due to no more MCO. So in terms of profit after tax, quarter to quarter, the fourth quarter in 2020 is we can achieve 1.4 million. First quarter 2021, 5.9, and then second quarter 2.5. Then the third quarter dip due to MCO 1.1, and then research 2.3 in the fourth quarter. So as compared last quarter in 2020 and last quarter in 2021, we find that the revenue and PA increased by 99.0% and 109.1% respectively. The reason is the same because of higher billing, all the construction activity is in full force. Okay, next screen, please. So this is a revenue breakdown for residential and non-residential. Whether residential or non-residential, it does not affect us. It depends on market demand. So you can see that in financial year 2017 to financial year 2021, you will find there's an increase in residential project as compared with non-residential project. So in terms of non-residential project for last year, 12%, and then the resident project 88%. So in terms of resident project, we accounted for about 80% of our total revenue. And then in terms of project concentration, all our projects are mostly in the Klang Valley, 90%. Only about less than 10% in Johor right now. Johor, the property market right now is very tough. A lot of overhanging. So we want to pull back all our resources maybe to Klang Valley. Klang Valley, the growth is still very robust. So in terms of a composition of project, high-rise and low-rise, ever since we listed our company, we find that the growth should be high-rise. So we emphasize on the high-rise project by building our people, by training our people, by buying material, by buying machinery for the high-rise, such as tower crane, passenger hoist, self-climbing platform, things like that. So you can look at in 2017, our high-rise is only 36.8% of our total revenue. As compared with the 2021, we shoot up to 66.0%. This is because the land, especially in Klang Valley, is getting very expensive. For developer to be feasible in their development, they must build high-rise instead of low-rise. So the composition is 66 against 34% in terms of revenue. So we want to maintain about 70 to 30 because our pool of management staff, we are able to undertake either high-rise or low-rise. We also have a pool of machinery for low-rise. So in terms of machinery, I always believe we only keep about not 100% machinery. Our own machinery, we only have about 70 to 75% of machinery. The rest, the balance is usually we rent outsourced to other people. This to ensure that all my machinery owned by us is fully used in terms of when the bad time hit is IT. So this is our strategy. So why we go into high-rise? Because first thing is we can high-rise can have a better margin in terms of higher barriers of entry for other contractor, and also because of we have advantage of machinery and also high-rise is not easy to build. We need to have a pool of very experienced supervisors and management staff. Also, we can because of high-rise, the quantity is small, so they can buy things in bulk quantity or sometimes in cash to increase our profitability. Next, please. So this is our financial position as at 31st December 2021. Our total asset from last year and this year, we increased from 338.2 million, we increased to 375.8 million. And then net asset per share, 26.1 cent to 27.5 cent last year. And the cash and bank balance, 49.5 million to 58.7 million. Then our total equity in 2020 to 2021 from 139.6 to 147. And then total borrowing 37.8 million to 48.7 million. And then our current ratio is 1.51, reduced to 1.42. That means all our financial position, all our cash flow are very strong, isn't it? Okay. So for our future plan, we want to focus on the following to improve our financial performance. First of all, of course, we still got about 1.2 million unbilled order book. We want to ensure that we have a prudent financial management, we have a better control of our quality, effective management as site. We are very hands-on. We are very hands-on, isn't it? So we also practice 6M, 5S, 3R in our project, isn't it? To ensure timely delivery, to ensure to bring costs down. And of course, we continue to bid for construction project. Like for instance, right now, we still got outstanding, our tender book is of 3.6 million, I believe. Out of 3 million, can able to secure about maybe 20% of tender book. Okay. Also, moving forward, we also try to source land for future development. Purpose is to create our in-house job, so we don't have to compete, isn't it? Compete for other jobs, isn't it? Like I say, our land in Mutiara Subang, we are going to launch this year. Our GDV value is around 200 million, isn't it? And then our selling price around below 400,000, isn't it? We almost 80% furnished, isn't it? Also, moving forward, we want to undertake facility management, just like supply, install lift and escalator, maintenance services. The purpose to build recurring income. Because last time during the lockdown, I find that this lift and escalator, they are not subject to lockdown. All the construction activity are locked down except lift and escalator. So that will ensure recurring income month by month. Also moving forward, we are trying to cooperate with other companies to bid for more projects. What type? Any kind of project, even a design and build, which I think. Also, we want to carry out any downstream activity, M&A or JV with any company, so long as the opportunity is good to the growth of a company, can enrich a company, we will explore the kind of collaboration with other companies. Because we always believe collaboration, because our motto is a partner in construction. You will find that most of our projects, we get it because of our motto. We believe in win-win, and then we always get repeated business, like from EcoWorld, from Tropicana, from Massing, from EVM Sunrise, from Sunway Construction, things like that, because of our belief in the partner in construction in everything in our projects. Okay, that's my presentation. Thank you very much for your patience. Over to you,
thank you,
Jason.
Mr. Paul, for the very insightful presentation, and congratulations on the strong quarterly performance, right, as well as putting your shareholders first. So we now open the floor for Q&A. Participants, you may unmute yourself to post your questions, or you may type your questions in the chat box and we will read it out from there.
Hi, Mr. Paul. Can you hear me? This is Tony from PA. This is Tony from PA. Hi, Mr. Paul. I just have 3 questions for you, because just now you mentioned your tender book is about 3.6 billion. May I know what is the breakdown like? I mean, like how many % is from this high rise, or how many is from low rise, or maybe it's from residential or non-residential? And then the second question is on this. Just now you mentioned you plan to develop 3 acres of this land. What is the GDV value like? And the third question is like, can you give us a bit of guidance on what's the trend of this materials, like the cement and the steel?
Okay. You see, just now I said that our product mix, so in our tender, our product mix is around 70 to 30%, 70% high rise, and then 30% low rise. But lately, I find that our product mix in the tender, maybe they are about 65% high rise and then 35% low rise. Because right now low rise is selling very well, isn't it? So our tender is according to the demand by the developer, isn't it? So in terms of this, in terms of resident or non-resident construction, mostly is resident. Non-resident is very few around nowadays in the office or clubhouse or others, very few right now. Mostly resident properties project. So in terms of this GDV, we are going to develop this affordable condominium. Right now we are working out our GDV is around maybe around 200 million is the GDV. Consists of 521 units affordable home. Also, there are some 90 unit of SKU unit that price at a fixed price of 270,000 per unit. For the built area of 550 square feet is the net. But overall, our this built area is 850 square feet, selling below 400,000. And then in terms of material price, we are hit by a price increase, especially in this steel bar, BRC, aluminum, copper, and then glass. So this really hit us quite hard in that sense. So moving forward, depend on stages of construction. We have a new project coming in. Of course, new project, we price some new prices and that. But our old project, we carry our old project. Right now, we still carry our old project out of 1.2 billion, about old project for 500 million. So this year, we are going to face some material price increase that will reduce our profitability in terms of revenue, maybe around 2%, isn't it? But we try to reduce this, increase the profitability by increasing the volume. I hope we can push more volumes than them. Because right now everything is in full force. So I believe my volume will be exceeded in the year 2019, the kind of figures. Am I understanding your question, Mr. Chan?
Hi, Mr. Wah. Just perhaps the last question, because you mentioned then this year your order book replenishment target is about 800 million. And since you mentioned you want to push up the volume, all this and that, I just wonder, do you have enough resources to do it, like especially these foreign worker things and that?
Okay, in terms of Malaysian engineer, this type of thing, we have no problem. Management, project manager, QS, we have no problem with them. But we are having some problem with foreign worker. But our government is opening up for us to recruit the foreign worker. Maybe in somewhere in March, so hopefully, right now we are facing some foreign worker shortage, isn't it? Some project maybe 10%, isn't it? But the thing is that we try to outsource to as many subcontractors as possible by paying them cash, by paying them a very prompt payment, this and that, to attract them to come to join us, this and that. That's our mitigation plan. So I hope the government will open up. If not, that will affect not only construction industry, but all industry, Even in the mama store near my office there, they also closed down. Then I asked them, what's the reason? They said, shortage of worker to cook with the net. So I hope government will do something. I believe government right now is doing something to open foreign migrant worker to come in, isn't it?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Paul. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah.
Hi, Pei Hong here from M Invest. I have a few follow-up questions. Can you share with us on the material cost in terms percentage for low rise compared to high rise?
You see, when you talk about material cost, steel consumption for high rise, it depends on the complexity of the design. Still high rise, the steel consumption usually consume the 9 to about 13%. And then for low rise, it's below 5% or 4%, things like that. Depend on all design, is like complexity of design, is like thing. So in terms of material price increase, lately the steel bar price increase shoot up by compared with let's say when we tender in 2019, we tender around 2002, 2003. Right now, we're buying for those old projects that are finished. If they're in the structural stage, we pay the steel bar for 3,002. So it means for 1 ton, we are going to lose around 1,000 things like that. Yeah. It's not much of increment for concrete. Concrete is only about 10 to
okay.
10 to 15
from the
dollars. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
just now you guided the margin likely to be 2+% for the coming years, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah. Anything miss you?
can you double condominium, where's the location? Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I think you got cut off halfway earlier on. Maybe you can just repeat.
Yeah, for the affordable condominium, may I know where's the location?
Oh, project all in the Klang Valley, isn't it? All in Klang Valley, isn't it? From Klang.
For the location of the condominium at our development. So it's at Mutiara Subang.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Mutiara Subang, they was in U5 Shah Alam. Sorry, that's how you didn't hear properly. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Paul, we have a few questions from the chat, right? If Inta has to source foreign worker, will it mainly come from Indonesia?
No, nowadays from Bangladesh, mostly Bangladesh. Indonesian right now, very small number because their country is prospering, isn't it? So quite hard to get the Indonesians there.
The last question is, in the current tender book, which one are considered significant? Maybe you can share with them roughly when you will know the results of these significant tenders that will be awarded.
Significant tender. Teo, you want to answer the question, Teo?
I don't get you, Mr. Jason. What is the question about?
So I think what I was trying to say is that in your tender book, right, which one are the bigger projects? And
Oh,
then,
the bigger projects. Okay.
The bigger ones.
Currently, we are tendering under design build. And then the other one is Eco World, also under design build, which is called Duduk 2. And the rest, these two are quite significant, I would say. Yeah, each of these I think is about 100 million. That's it, Jason.
So I think the answer it should be 101 million.
Yeah.
So his the follow-up question is, when will you know the results of this tender?
We are in the midst of one is in the midst of preparing for submission. The other one we already submitted. I think we should know very soon, probably by next month.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions from the floor? So Paul, maybe I can ask a question. You mentioned that you have a 1.3 billion order book from your JV with Lagenda, right?
Yeah.
Is that part of your 3.6 billion?
No. The one is excluding. The one is a JV one is exclude 3.6 tender book is exclude. Purely JV is
Okay. Okay, so I think there's the next question. Mr. Paul just now mentioned that revenues for 2022 would be somewhat similar to 2019, right? So does this include your property development and your Lagenda JV, or is it just pure internal projects?
No, when we say it's all pure internal contract, pure. So I believe because everything is opened up, with this 1.2 billion order book, I must exceeded what I achieved in 2019, barring any lockdown. If there's no lockdown, then happy really. If not, we should to grow the company. I should grow my revenue exceeding 2019 to the pre-pandemic levels and then exceed the pre-pandemic level. That's excluding this revenue from they say from our own generated in-house development or from JV with Lagenda properties.
Okay. So the next question will be, can you elaborate? Sorry, someone wanted to ask a question. Maybe you can go ahead.
Sorry, it's Pei Hong again. I just want to ask about the contract that you get from developer. How does it work? Is it by project, and do you have like a range of basically I just want to know whether developers share the material cost rising portion.
Yeah, when we tender due to uncertainty period of time, we try to fix the price of material. So some of the developer they agree on that, some does not agree. They say that, hey, you need to take a risk, whatever fees this and that. So for certain, like for instance, Mitraland, we fix the price of concrete and steel bar, so that will affect our margin, profitability margins. So far, only one developer that is very understanding. They fix the price, isn't it?
Okay, and most of them is not fixing, means
yeah,
with
most
the
of them,
price movement.
Yeah.
Okay, and the cost will be paid by you then?
Of course, because we signed the contract. Right. Of course, I go and see each and every one of the developer to express my concern on the price increase, this and that. Even I write letter to them to ask her to help, to assist us to pull through and that. But all the developers say that is you already signed the contract. There's an obligation to finish the work, isn't it? They also say that maybe due to their margin squeezes and that they cannot afford to help all the contractors, but they will help us in terms of speak up their progress claim to us, the payment to us, isn't it?
Okay, just wonder if there's one project with a few phases, do they sign by phases or just by project as well? Do they lock in like whole project?
Teo, you want to answer the question, Teo? Teo?
Repeat the question, please.
Yeah.
Just for project is. Hi, can you hear?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear me?
yeah.
Okay, it's just wonder for projects, right, with few phases, when they sign the contract, do they sign like the project or like for each phase, then they will nego again? How does it work?
Oh, if they normally they come in maximum 2 phases lah, huh? And there's a specific lead times, huh? Sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months. So the price is usually fixed, huh? You cannot renegotiate.
Okay, all right, thanks.
All right.
Mr. Paul, can you elaborate more on your ESG practices, especially in terms of foreign labor?
Okay.
Can you elaborate a bit on your ESG practices, and then especially in terms of the foreign labor side?
Okay. You see, nowadays we follow our government requirement. We are very strict on SOP to ensure that safety, health, and environment is taken care of in the work site. Especially right now, we follow 446, Act 446 to ensure our condemnation is livable, so that our worker, they observe clean environment to stay, this kind of thing. So we also take care of our worker in the sense that during the COVID period, we supply them vitamin C, this and that, to increase their this immunity system, things like that. So we emphasize on the ESG, especially for the well-being of worker. Any worker, they are fall sick or what, this and that, we have a safety officer send them to hospital or to bring the doctor to come and see, to treat them, things like that.
The next question would be, do you see developers awarding contracts now as compared to 2021? Or are they still practicing a more wait and see approach?
I think right now the activity, there's a size of activity to award the contract. Of course, developer, they are very sensitive in their sales figure. If their sales figure didn't reach a certain margin, they won't launch it. But there are signs of a robust, right now, a robust activity. Many tender coming in as compared with last year.
Okay, are there any more questions on the floor?
Hi, if there's no further question, can I ask a few more questions on the contract?
Go ahead, no worries.
Yeah, just wonder, let's say, just take an example for the steel bar, right? I understand now it's about 3,000 over. So when you lock in the contract, you will get, you will use what is forecasted, the price as forecast, or the current price?
You want to answer question too?
Oh yeah, cannot hear clearly. Can you repeat? So sorry.
No worries, still. So basically, just want to have a better understanding on the agreement. Like, let's say take a steel bar, for example, the price is around 3,000 over per ton now. So when you lock in for new project, right, do you take the forecast? Do you factor in like a buffer for the increase? Or you take how does it work? Do you put in like 5, 10%?
Yeah, usually
kind of?
we have a provision, a small buffer, very small buffer of 100 to 200 ringgit. So like earlier tender in 2019, 2020, we have vision of about 100 to 200 ringgit. But unfortunately, the price has gone up from 2002 to 3000 at that time. And now gone up further to 3001, 3002. So usually for the new tender, we will price in, let's say 2002 plus another 100 ringgit or 200 ringgit. That is our buffer that we allow. Right? So you cannot put too much because we have to be competitive. Right? We have to be competitive. Otherwise, we will waste our time tendering for the job. Right? Involve cost and time.
Okay, understand. But just now Paul mentioned, I mean, only one developer agreed to fix the price. Given that the rising environment, the price rising environment now, do you foresee developer to give in soon, or they will still prefer to fix, I mean, not to fix the price?
Okay, usually if the price fluctuation is too much, the developer prefer to fix the price so that the tender price will be less. What do you call that? The variation of the price will not be too great. People will not be too conservative in their tender, and they allow higher provisions for contingency in the event of price go up again. So in that respect, sometimes the developer will fix the price. So far, we have a little bit of correction here. Paul had mentioned one, but actually we have 2 or 3. Some of the eco project, they also fix the price.
Okay, fix the price by 1-200 higher
they fix, than. They fix it. They say, okay, during this tender, they fix at 2008. So if we purchase at 3000, they will compensate us 200 ringgit. If you purchase at 3003, then they'll compensate you 500 ringgit.
Sorry, just I made a mistake. It's not one project, 3 projects. 2 from Eco.
Yeah.
1 from Michelin.
Yeah, 1 from Michelin. Yeah. So that is how they fix the price. They fix at a certain amount. Sometimes they will purchase on your behalf, or you have to prove to them the best price that you purchase at that particular time.
Okay, they compensate means fix will match the market price out, because they will compensate whatever the differences is.
Correct. At the time of tender, they say you have to make known to them this is the price that you tender, or they will fix for you that there's a price for you to tender, and any variation beyond that amount, they will compensate you or deduct from the amount if the price come down.
Okay, understand. Thanks.
Paul, we have a question from the chat. So in terms of the future plans for property development, what is Inta Bina's competitive advantage to source for cheap land in Klang Valley, as Inta Bina is quite new to this sector? And the second question is, with the net cash of 9 million, how does Inta Bina plan to finance future land banking activities?
Okay. First of all, our purpose of development is centered on affordable homes. So we try to source land that is affordable. Land that's below 20 million that wouldn't affect our operational cash flow. So our purpose is more of created job for our own business. More created jobs. So in the meantime, also for future growth. That sense of future growth. So in terms of how to fund the project, we will rely on bank borrowing. Due to our or bank borrowing, or sometimes we can get from a market, get from equity from a market to increase our shares.
Okay, maybe last few questions from the floor before we close the session. We have two questions from the chat box. So are there any labor shortages problem, especially with the recent MCO? I believe Mr. Paul, you have touched on that before this. Maybe you can just remind our participant. And the second question would be, how much has worker day rate increased since last year?
Just now I said that we are facing labor shortage. Some project maybe 10%, but we try to mitigate this labor shortage by outsourcing to many subcontractors, by paying them promptly, or buying them so that also to ensure that their welfare is taken care of, isn't it? To mitigate this shortage. So we hope that moving forward, as the company is going to grow for more revenue, this shortage will be becoming more and more acute. So I believe the government also know that. So government is opening for us to apply for foreign worker, maybe something in the coming months, isn't it, from Bangladesh, isn't it? So in terms of the wages increase, yes, there's a wages increase to 10 to 20%. For instance, right now, last time we used to pay, they say laborers for $40 a day. Right now, $50. No, for the skill one, from $70 to $100 per day, depend on their skill, semi-skill or skills. So there's a marked increase in labor prices, isn't it? But all this we have priced it in our tender books. What's their question, Jason? Sorry.
So the next question would be, how many metric tons of cement and steel bars does Inta Bina budget to be used in 2022? And do you hear whether the cement prices will increase further?
We budgeted not in terms of we budgeted in terms of overall, in terms of steel bar, in terms of concrete, brick, everything. So we budgeted about 2 to 3% of revenue losses due to price increase, 2 to 3% of profitability or profit. Because it's very difficult for us to identify, how much is the steel, but we just identify about 2 to 3%. That means our profit over revenue margin will be reduced at 2 to 3% due to this price increase.
Okay, I think we have Izisha. Maybe you want to unmute and ask your question. Hi, Izisha, you want to unmute your mic and ask your question? Okay, I think you sent the question in. So first question would be the Inta fee prices for its projects on a per square feet basis. Has it been declining over the last few years, right? And can the company cope with rising material prices? I think you've answered the second question. Maybe you can take the first question.
Theo, can you answer the first question? Because you're in charge of tender.
Okay, cost of per square feet definitely will increase. And those projects that we have already tendered and secured, that we will have to suffer due to the price increase. But those new projects that we have secured, that will not be affected because we already adjusted the price based on the current market price. So hopefully that the price will not go up further. So that's my answer.
The next question is, what is the optimal land cost over project GDV, at what percentage would you be considered? Will you consider as high?
Okay, I think I take this question. Basically, from this one, our feasibility study, we prefer the land cost to be around less than 15%. That also depends on the type of property. For those higher end property that we can sell more than 500 ringgit per square feet, we can go slightly beyond 15%. Otherwise, we will try to get anything below 15% of the total GDV. Our current property that we have purchased is around, I think, less than 10%. Less than 10%.
Okay. Okay, I think there are no more follow-up questions. Mr. Paul, maybe you have any closing remarks for our listeners today?
Yeah. First of all, I would thank all the participants for all the questions. We hope that we answer your question. If you don't really answer a question, you can always write to us because we are very transparent. Our company is very transparent. We will answer all your questions. Whatever you ask, isn't it? You can email to me, isn't it? You can get my email from Jason or my phone from Jason, isn't it? So as we move in the endemic period, I believe right now is the endemic period this year. So this year will be a robust year for all industry. I say all industry will really grow. Then construction industry included. So we are looking for bidding for new project to replenish our order book. In addition, like I say, we also looking for affordable land to develop affordable condominium or apartment in Klang Valley or outside of Klang Valley. Also, we try to, the purpose is to create our own project. We also looking for JV in downstream or upstream or with other developer or landowner to develop land, things like that. Also, moving forward, I want to assure all of you all that we work very hard. We are very hands-on in everything we do, and we try to achieve. Every year we have a target to achieve. So we try to achieve our target. Not only our target, we want to achieve our vision to be the preferred choice builder and to ensure sustainable return to the stakeholder. That is rest assured, the investor, the stakeholder is always in our heart as we grow the company. Let us grow together. So thank you, Jason. Over to you.
Thank you for the closing remarks, Mr. Paul.
Yeah.
So for everyone that is on the call, if you have any further questions, as Mr. Paul said, feel free to reach out to Image Jiwa or Mr. Paul himself.
Yeah.
And on behalf of Inta, Bina and Bursa Malaysia, thank you for attending today's briefing. We hope to see you in the next one.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Hugh. Yeah.